was written when, but the introduction of Emperor Goddamn Palpatine in Episode 9 feels like a desperate attempt to give people who hated The Last Jedi a nostalgia high right off the bat, who watched the first two movies and thought somehow Emperor Palpatine figures into this.
Oh, no sin for the opening crawl this time? And what's even more ironic is that this is the one time I would have removed the sin if he had done that, because this crawl is so ridiculous in the amount of information it gives you that it feels out of nowhere and doesn't feel like the end of a story at all. Also, while I agree Palpatine coming back was extremely dumb, I don't think the reason was nostalgia bait. It's clear that Disney saw the backlash about Rey being overpowered and so decided to use Palpatine to explain that, even though I don't think it excuses that, since just because you come from a bloodline doesn't mean you should be immediately good at being a Jedi already, but whatever.
Who is he fighting? They look like kindly baby Yoda types. They're all like half Jawa, half Ewok. Jawoks? Who are they, and what did they do to piss off Kylo Ren? Well, you might care as I do, but the movie does not. You move on, you're too old, let it go. Nobody listens to techno, now let's go.
Now listen, I feel like this movie has far too much important information that isn't here and can only be found in books, so I feel like a bit of a jerk to bring them up. However, Jeremy actually does bring them up later in this video, so if he's going to be doing that, I guess that gives me an excuse to do it too. Anyway, these people are Sith cultists who have colonized the remnants of Darth Vader's castle in order to gain power. Because, yeah, even though this planet looks nothing like Mustafar, it apparently is.
In the middle of the woods of some random planet, there's a star map to where Emperor Palpatine is. It's called a Sith wayfinder, and it may be the dumbest thing ever put in a Star Wars film. Why would a Sith create a map to his location? As powerful as Palpatine and Kylo are, can't Palpatine communicate this via the Force? And how did Kylo know this device was on this planet?
I would imagine Kylo looked into First Order or Sith archives and learned of the Wayfinder there. Also, again, this isn't a random planet. It's Mustafar, the place where Obi-Wan and Anakin had their legendary duel 54 years ago in the timeline.
I have died before. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
That is literally all the explanation this movie cares to give about the return of Palpatine.
Technically, no. The Resistance later brings up that maybe Palpatine used cloning or Sith magic, which are secrets only the Sith knew. I'm not saying those are good explanations, or that the movie couldn't have gone deeper, but they did throw a little more out there.
Also, it's weird that you have this technology to clone yourself, and instead of being a young Palpatine, you're the same old Palpatine that got thrown into the Death Star shaft in Return of the Jedi.
If you did research from the expanded books where it's explained that Palpatine is a clone, then how did you miss the part that says that Palpatine's life force is far too powerful for these clone bodies and is thus causing the body to decay? That's why he cloned Rey's father, because he wanted a proper body that could hold it. It didn't work though, the clone was able to escape, Rey was born, and Palpatine realized Rey was the perfect host.
What could you give me?
Everything.
Earlier in this conversation, Emperor Palpatine said the First Order was just the beginning. I can give you so much more. Now he's like, I'll give you everything. And all of this is just vague enough to ask, what exactly do any of these Sith assholes actually want? Not money, not sex. If power is the main goal, what do they want to use that power for? If the ultimate goal is to shape the universe into an evil spiral of wickedness, then is the power just being used for their entertainment value? Like, I hated King Joffrey on Game of Thrones, but we knew that his power was a means to satisfy his own amusement. I don't know what the hell these guys want.
What? How are you asking this question? George Lucas has stated many times that the one thing Sith want is power and more power. They are the epitome of selfishness and are willing to do anything to gain power, even if they have to kill others to do it. When Anakin turned, while he initially wanted to save Padme, it evolved into him wanting more power. That's what makes the dark side evil, and why no one should ever use it for good.
The might of the final order will soon be ready.
Some of our software has some buggy code, and a lot of the stuff we promised at the Expo of Evil won't be in the final product, but our launch will still go better than that Warcraft 3 remake.
Jeremy says something random cliche.
More of the Wookiee playing holographic space chess. That's what fresh Star Wars looks like, kids. The same, just with a twist of lime. AKA the same thing.
Says the guy who cannot stop repeating college girlfriend jokes over and over again.
Meanwhile, at the Fortress of Hothitude.
Arbitrary movie reference.
Oh, they came out of hyperspace right onto Billy Idol's scalp. Also, they pop out of hyperspace in a super dangerous situation, which is something I always wondered about with the original trilogy. But I long ago made peace with the fact that the ship's computers calculate for possible collision and route the hyperspace journey around any danger. Then this movie comes along.
I'm pretty sure Poe intentionally flew here to get rid of the TIE fighters behind them.
Be with me.
Be with me. Is she talking to Luke, or is she anthropomorphizing the Force? Be with me. Sounds like a Michelle Branch song title from 2003.
If you let the scene play a little longer, you would have heard Rey tell Leia that she is trying to communicate with the Jedi that came before, which is exactly what she does at the end of the film.
She's played this level several times before, and it's obvious. This is practically a speed run.
Well, yeah, repetition and practice helps one train to do a certain thing.
I know it looks like I'm making excuses.
Don't tell me what things look like. Tell me what they are.
I love Carrie Fisher. We all do, but JJ's insistence on keeping her an important part of this final Skywalker film, despite her untimely death, ultimately hurts the story and the overall presentation of this final film. These inserted pre-existing footage shots of her are ridiculously awkward. They remind me a lot of when they did that with Tony's mom in The Sopranos.
I mean, yeah, I agree these scenes feel really awkward, but come on, are you saying you don't want Leia in the final movie of the saga? Personally, I really appreciate the effort to insert her in here without using CGI to recreate her like they did in Rogue One.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Writer's room reaction to JJ's big idea gets filmed and included as an actual scene in the movie.
I hoped you would send this scene, and you did not disappoint me.
There are ciphers here I can't read.
Bummer.
But he said to get there you need one of these.
Wait, what the
Did you not hear Rey say he in this clip? That is referring to Luke. Right before this, she mentions that Luke was trying to find this wayfinder and gave up his search.
They're compasses that lead the way to Exegol.
So what you're telling me is that this movie is ripping off the primary MacGuffin from the Pirates of the Caribbean? A compass?
That felt like a jab at Pirates of the Caribbean, and I will not stand for that.
The General asked me to study the specs of old destroyers, so we can stop the fleet if you find it.
Yeah, knowing the specs of the old destroyers will surely help you to destroy 18 million supposedly new destroyers.
Didn't you notice that the Final Order destroyers look exactly like the old Imperial destroyers? I don't know, I feel like it's at least worth a shot.
A Sith baddie uses the Force to choke a mouthy cabinet member, and we are just playing all the hits here, people. If you dig that, take out your masturbation assistance devices now.
Jeremy says boner while also complaining about the movie repeating stuff yet again.
That necklace snatching is so dramatic, I'm surprised it didn't lead to the death of Bruce Wayne's parents.
Arbitrary movie reference.
Only 2 were made.
A Sith wayfinder.
I still don't know why they made these things, but if they wanted Sith to be able to find this place, why would they only make 2? This is like God only giving Moses 1 copy of the 10 Commandments.
Probably because of the rule of 2. You know, the rule that was established by Darth Bane that there can only be 2 Sith at a time. That was explained way back in The Phantom Menace, a movie you sinned, including that scene.
There's no doubt the mysterious warrior was a Sith.
Always 2 there are.
Except when you kill one, right? Then there's only one, right? Right?
Luke Skywalker came here to find one.
I know. I was with him. Luke and I were tailing an old Jedi hunter.
No, you weren't. You think moody-ass loner Luke decided to call Lando up to track down a Jedi hunter? I'm not buying it. But look, I get it. You wanted to put Lando in your movie. You wanted the cheering and the applause.
How is it not obvious to you that this would have been before Luke became a moody-ass loner? You think he was like that right after Return of the Jedi?
I got a bad feeling about this.
God damn it all to hell. Stop re-hitting all the beats, JJ. This is like having Spock yell Khan instead of Kirk.
Sinning, I've got a bad feeling about this.
How do you know how to do that?
Why does Finn keep asking Poe questions about his ability to know things about the very thing in which he is an expert?
Since when does Poe being a pilot mean he can hotwire speeders? And this is a hint to him being a spice runner, which explains how he can do this.
They fly now! They fly now! They fly now!
Excitement? Also, did everyone forget about Boba Fett? He flew without combat. He flew without net. He flew long before these dudes even met. And he set the flight bar that these fools just forget.
While I'm glad you simmed this scene, I am not glad that you're trying to be Dr. Seuss. I thought you were annoyed you had to do that in the Grinch video.
No one will be seated during the Mad Max Fury Road portion of the film.
The third arbitrary movie reference.
Never underestimate a droid!
Jesus.
What even was the sin here?
Just like that one Harry Potter film, the real answer here ends up being to let go and allow yourself to be swallowed by the vine's quicksand, which is, I guess, exciting?
I'm fairly certain they don't realize that's what they're supposed to do, like Hermione did.
Luke sensed it. Ochi never left this place.
So tell me again how Luke ran into a dead end when looking for this guy, if he could sense him. Wouldn't the Force tell him where this guy ended up? Let me put it this way, if we watched a Star Wars movie where Luke was looking for this guy, he'd use the Force to find out that his body was in the ground underneath the quicksand. We wouldn't even bat an eye that he found him, but this movie is trying to say he just gave up after searching Ochi's ship with Lando.
Okay, but think about what you're saying here. Let's say Luke did sense that Ochi fell into the quicksand. Why would he keep looking? He didn't know that there were tunnels underneath here, so I think he would have concluded that Ochi simply died and he ran into a literal dead end. But the fact that Lando is here proves that Luke still felt suspicious enough to have him keep searching.
After falling through the quicksand into a system of caves, they find the magical dagger of truth that ultimately helps Rey find her way later, and I just have to say, quicksand ex machina, am I right?
No, you're not right.
Oh yeah, that's right, Rey knows parcel tongue.
Another Harry Potter reference? Dude, come on, this movie already has tons of actual sins. Can you stop packing the counter with this crap?
I just transferred a bit of life. Force energy from me to him.
But can you get that back somehow? Does it regenerate like a special move bar in a video game?
She said a bit of life. I think she's fine if she gives a bit of her life force like that.
Well, that was pretty badass.
Destroying a ship with force lightning even though the dark side is evil is badass? Not to mention this is supposed to make Rey feel scared that she could turn to the dark side, and she thought she killed Chewie. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense to me.
There was another transport in the desert. It brought back a valuable prisoner.
I'm happy that Chewbacca isn't dead, but how the did Rey and everybody else miss the fact that there was a second transport? It was sitting right there next to the other transport. How didn't they see the other one fly off? And Rey couldn't sense Chewbacca was alive?
No, she couldn't. The Force doesn't just passively give people information, and Rey was emotionally distracted because she thought she killed him. That's the same reason why Kylo Ren didn't realize Luke wasn't really there on Crate.
The beast used to fly with Han Solo.
Who gives a if he used to fly with Han Solo? You do know he's with the other people you're looking for, right? His relationship to Han Solo means about as much to this movie as the fact that Donald Gleason was an ex machina with Oscar Isaac.
Did you seriously just ask why would they care about having the sidekick of Han frickin' Solo, the rebel hero, and the guy who made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs? Did you seriously just ask that?
Let's do that. I know a black market droidsmith.
This laugh.
For Chewie.
Really wish C-3PO would die. He hasn't been funny or fun since the original trilogy, and even then he was pushing it.
Hating on C-3PO.
Hello.
Yes, because BB-8 needed a boyfriend.
Still misspelling BB-8's name, I see.
This is like playing Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. And don't any of you modern Rainbow Six or Ghost Recon bitches even start with me about how old that reference makes me sound. I'm old, I don't care, and I could kick your ass at a Rogue Spear Grenades Only run right now.
Okay, but what did any of that have to do with this movie?
We make him translate it, he won't remember anything.
Sounds good to me. Let's go. What are we pausing to consider this for? Let's go! Leroy Jenkins!
Continuing to hate on C-3PO.
Doesn't R2 back up your memory?
Oh, please. R2 storage units are famously unreliable.
And that's all the movie has to say about that.
The real sin is that that's R2 frickin' D2. The Clone Wars showed that he has lots of information about the Republic, making his memory banks extremely valuable. Why would they be famously unreliable? And coming from C-3PO, the guy who's been his friend for decades?
Gotta go now. Did we get it? Babu?
Yep, droid is ready.
Perfect timing, dude.
The Force works in mysterious ways.
Chewie?
What about him?
He's on my ship.
Oh, now you can sense him. Also, it would have been way better for the movie for the reveal that he's alive to happen here, and not some bull scene with General Hux.
Another sin where I agree with part of it, but I still have to sin it because of something else he said. Yeah, it would have been better if they revealed Chewie was alive right here, but again, why are you assuming Rey should immediately sense that? Again, that's not how the Force works. It's never worked like that.
Search the city again. She's close.
For a guy that can steal her necklace during visions, he sure is dumb about where and how to find her, even when he's close.
I'm assuming you're saying he should just use his Force time powers to call her, and he literally does that later.
Look, I get it when Kylo grabs a necklace and Force steals it from one world to another. I do not get it when they smash the Darth Vader pedestal and somehow the image of only his mask transports to another place. They can apparently only see each other and not their surroundings, so how does any of this work?
Dude, Kylo's lightsaber literally hit the pedestal just like Rey's, and the movie earlier showed that when Rey's lightsaber hit a bag of spice or whatever, it teleported into Kylo's quarters where she was. This shows that whatever they hit, because of their Force time power, it causes something to teleport to their respective location.
You are a Palpatine.
You know why this is a surprise? Because nobody can imagine Emperor Palpatine having sex. And now I have a million questions about the backstory of this whole thing that I am sure is explained in a book or a comic or something. And Palpatine finding out about Rey occurred after his death, by the way. I know he was cloned, but who told him he had a granddaughter while he spent his days on that distant planet? If you say the Force, then why wasn't he able to locate her and kill her while she ran around scavenging on Jakku? If you say one of his minions kept tabs on Palpatine's son, I'll call you a liar, because there's no way Palpatine anybody and had a kid.
First of all, Palpatine didn't have sex. You mentioned he's a clone, so surely you know that Dathan Palpatine was a clone as well. And like I said earlier, he was cloned so Palpatine could have a better host to contain his soul. Second of all, yes, Palpatine learned of Rey through the Force, but he wasn't able to find her on Jakku because her parents left her there, they refused to tell Ochi, and so Ochi killed them. Third of all, why did you even suggest that Palpatine wanted to kill her? He literally explains at the end of this movie that he wanted her alive so he can transfer his soul into her and take over the galaxy as the new Empress. That's why he tried to find her, which does beg the question of why he told Kylo to kill her, but still.
All I've got to say is this is entirely too much work to hide a Sith wayfinder thing that shouldn't even exist in the first place. Somebody came out here, wrote down some coordinates, drew a picture, and then said, I shall construct a blade from the outline of this drawing and then engrave those coordinates in the Sith language that nobody except Siths and C-3PO can read. Why a blade? I don't know. I just do what the cocaine tells me.
Yeah, this deserved a sin. It all feels so insanely contrived and ridiculous. Not only do you have to stand in a specific spot, but you also have to assume that the wreckage won't be messed around with by the intense waves so it wouldn't even align with the dagger anymore? Even my usual "the Force works in mysterious ways" excuse is far too much of a stretch here, because way too much had to go right in order for this to work.
You were First Order?
Not by choice.
We were conscripted as kids. All of us.
Once again, this movie would have been just fine without.
Personally, I thought this was one of the better aspects of this film, showing that Finn wasn't the only one to leave the First Order like that. I'd say the real sin is that the movie doesn't explore it enough. Like, how cool would it have been if Finn convinced some of the stormtroopers to turn their backs on the First Order?
She took a skimmer?
Yeah, I know. Like, if she can make herself levitate, why can't she just fly there?
I somehow doubt that that's possible.
Interstellar wave is interstellar.
Arbitrary movie reference.
Well, I'm not Leia. That's for damn sure.
Are we really doing this protagonist fight before the big finish cliche here?
Not to the same extent.
Man, Rey working her way through this wreckage to find the Wayfinder is the best Tomb Raider movie ever made.
Dadgummit.
The only way you're getting to Exegol is with me.
I have been through too much with this Wayfinder to just have Kylo smash it. Entirely, deeply too much. This whole movie has been about Rey trying to find this thing. Now Kylo smashes it, as if all the that happens in the movie after this can't happen without it. I think, yeah, I'm gonna add 100 sins for this.
Were you complaining about this movie doing a fetch quest with finding this Wayfinder? Now that it's not happening, you add 100 sins?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually bored with this lightsaber battle. What do we think is going to actually happen here? Every lightsaber battle in the original trilogy seemed consequential. Obi-Wan dying, Luke losing his hand, and the negotiation between good and evil itself. This one? Yeah, Rey's going to stab Kylo when Leia distracts him, but Rey's going to heal him immediately afterward. This is a laser show. Play some Pink Floyd and maybe I'll pay attention.
I'm annoyed you didn't bring up any of the prequels when you tried to say previous lightsaber duels had consequences. Petty complaint aside, did you miss the part where Kylo Ren dies and Ben Solo comes back to the light side? Because Leia died, the memory of Han shows up and convinces Ben to switch sides. And this fight also caused Rey to exile herself on Act 2 temporarily because of her anger and fear of turning to the dark side. I agree that this fight is boring, but not because there's no consequences. There are plenty of those.
Why does she decide to heal him again? Because his death makes Leia sad? Because he had his shirt off that one time? If she didn't want to hurt him or kill him, what was all that Jan Burger lightsaber battling for? It wasn't self-defense.
Yeah, it was because of Leia's death. Rey realized that Ben dropped his lightsaber because he could sense his mother, and Rey immediately felt empathy for this man losing his mom, who he loved so much he wasn't even willing to kill her in the last movie.
Hand service.
I would have seen this scene because I think it should have been Anakin, but whatever.
The Princess of Alderaan has disrupted my plan.
And just when I thought this movie was going to avoid resorting to one hologram, here it is in all its glory. What's remarkable is that in this world, 30 plus years have gone by and there's still glitchy eyesores.
Ah, classic sending holograms cliche. Honestly, I feel a bit nostalgic seeing this.
Does that mean every ship in the fleet
has planet-killing weapons? Of course they do.
This reminds me of that story by Hans Christian Andersen, where two screenwriters promise the Emperor that they'll give him an imagination, but then they decide not to give him one at all. They just tell him it's there. And then everybody claims that the Emperor has an imagination because they don't want to look stupid, until a kid observes him and says, but he doesn't have an imagination at all.
I get what you're saying, and I even agree with it, but can you please stop telling elaborate jokes like this? It's less funny when it goes on for too long.
We had each other. That's how we won.
family.
Oh, for the father's sake.
This droid has a ton of information about Exegol.
St. Peter on a pizza, this convenient got to stop. And so help me fancy Moses, if you start with me on that, it's the Force. This is just lazy writing.
I wouldn't even say it's the Force, though. Since this droid just happened to be in Ochi's ship, they were looking for Ochi. Ochi is connected to Palpatine, so of course the droid would have useful information.
And the Star Wars farewell tour continues. Coming up next, Porkins, Mace Windu, the ghost of Anakin Skywalker from the original trilogy before they replaced him with Hayden Christensen, and a fantastic cover band called There Can Be Obi-Wan. The name sounds apt, but it's not.
Oh, come on. Are you seriously telling me it's a sin to have Luke frickin' Skywalker in this movie? I mean, I would have preferred him to still be alive, but I'll take what I can get.
Also, apparently Jedi ghosts can handle physical objects now. This really raises questions as to why Yoda and Obi-Wan couldn't help out with the cause after they died.
As I explained in the last movie, that's not how it works. Force ghosts can only do certain things on certain planets that are extremely strong with the Force. They are currently on Act 2, which houses what's left of the first Jedi Temple.
Some things are stronger than blood.
Duh! You are the son of the evil Darth Vader, you numbnuts! How the is this a lesson anyone in the universe needs to learn? Everyone knows about how you were good, even though your dad was, you know what, 50 cents, because some things are stronger than stupid dialogue, like the sin counter.
Yeah, but Rey had visions of becoming a Sith Lord like her grandfather, and I doubt she even considered if Luke had a similar kind of vision. And honestly, this sounds like the kind of thing that doesn't seem obvious at first, and that people can still forget about.
Yeah, you can darken the screen and light the scene only with a blue lightsaber, and this digitally youngin' Leia still looks pretty creepy.
Not removing a sin for this trilogy, finally confirming that Leia trained as a Jedi, something that is long overdue.
Also, the fans may love it that Luke finally got a chance to lift his ship out of some water after completely failing to do so in The Empire Strikes Back. But I better see an army of goddamn Jedi ghosts coming to fight the Emperor after this. That asshole Qui-Gon and the dude with the 3-foot neck better be there, lightsabers drawn.
No, that's not gonna happen, and I already explained why twice.
We need to put some holdo maneuvers. Do some real damage.
Is Mary Brandybuck here seriously suggesting a strategy of mass suicide?
I mean, yeah? If it involves saving the lives of billions of people across the galaxy, then I think it'd be worth it. That's what you're supposed to do as a soldier, lay down your life for others.
The nav signal is coming from that command ship. That's our drop zone.
How do you know?
A feeling.
Wait. Didn't you suggest in your Force Awakens video that you think it's possible Finn is Force sensitive? Did you just forget about that?
Your hatred, your anger. You want to kill me. That is what I want.
I feel like in Star Wars Episode 18 we'll be seeing this exact scene yet again, because Star Wars never changes. It'll be right after Disney hands the reins to Star Wars to Cal L. Cage, who will make Episode 17 using motion capture on his 85-year-old dad to play every single character of the movie, including the werewolves.
We get it! This movie is repeating things we've already seen. Can you please focus on all the other dumb stuff in this dumb movie?
Again with the look at the ships as your friends are dying routine? This guy has one shtick. One.
Jeremy forgot the movie where this guy tricked a Skywalker into joining him because he promised him the power to cheat death. You know, a movie he sinned already.
She will take her revenge.
This whole setup seems phony. In the original trilogy, we could actually see Luke getting angrier, and slipping into the dark side seemed to be a possibility, even though we knew it wouldn't happen. Rey has never really seemed like the angry type. The Emperor really seems to think sitting on this throne out in the unknown regions is super appealing enough to sell your soul.
What do you mean Rey has never seemed like the angry type? Didn't you literally send the 2 scenes where she got angry, mainly when she blew up Chewie and when she lashed out at Kylo Ren? If there's anything this movie does better than the previous 2, it's portray Rey as a flawed character.
Okay, this is probably the coolest scene in the movie, but even with the dyad nature, how is this possible? The way this has worked throughout the last couple of movies is they can talk to each other, read each other's thoughts, even grab things in front of them, and even see images of things that might be around them. But when did they perfect this wireless transfer of lightsabers? Even if this is possible, wouldn't you need to work on this? Wouldn't it require just a tad of training to do this in such a cinematically pleasing manner?
That weird pronunciation of cinematically pleasing. Also, this is the first time we've seen his kind of insane power in this franchise. If it suggests it doesn't need practice, then it doesn't need it.
I'm taking a sin off because this is rad, but movie should consider itself lucky that I'm still awake right now to even see it.
This is rad? You mean something that barely affected these ships since the battle keeps on going after this?
Rey. Bring back the balance, Rey. as I did.
This is a nice pep talk from all the Jedi ghosts, and it gets Rey back up on her feet, but what I really want at this point is for all these voices to get off their lazy asses and fight, because that's the problem with showing Ghost Luke grabbing a lightsaber earlier. He opened up the possibility of dead Jedi coming to the fight. I don't want it to happen on a larger scale now. This whole movie is fan service. Why can't there be ghosts of all our favorite Jedis kicking ass at the end of this movie?
Because they can't do that.
Once again, Star Wars finds a loophole in the kill the Emperor but become evil rule. They set up this impossible thing where if you kill the Emperor, no matter your level of anger, you become a dick like he does. So in Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader throws him down a shaft so Luke doesn't have to do it. And this one, I guess it's because the Emperor's own lightning is melting him. The little arrangement of killing the Emperor and becoming the Emperor doesn't work anymore.
Really? You still didn't get the point of that scene in Return of the Jedi? That movie wasn't saying that Luke couldn't kill Palpatine. It was simply saying he didn't want to and relied on his faith that Anakin could come back to the side of good. And I'm fairly certain that Palpatine has to willingly allow Rey to kill him so she could become Empress. The fact that Rey kills him after he decided to just stay the Emperor makes the rule null and void.
I guess no matter what happens anywhere, you can always see the aftermath from Endor's forest moon somewhere. Also, Ewoks.
Isn't the movie suggesting that there were Star Destroyers all over the galaxy, including Endor?
Now have a threesome.
Shut up.
Rey Skywalker.
This movie is pretty average. The ending is great.
This is how we're ending this year-long Star Wars journey. I'm not even mad, just disappointed, which I guess describes my feeling on this movie in general. But yeah, screw you for removing sins for this dumb scene.